people get this picture that anyone that comes from there is, like not gonna probably like drop out of school early or, not really amount to much, which from one end, I don't blame people for having a perception of like certain people in certain states not making it well, but the fact that some states, everything, every person that lives in that state is labeled as say say like a knacker or something like that. Like just because you might know a lot of bad people that live in that state doesn't mean everyone deserves to be labeled as such and such.
What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the number one podcast in Ireland, the podcast where we go into reality. I'm your host with the most, my name Bello, aka with the IB. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the podcast and and you want to put in your thoughts and opinions on the topics we discussed, hit the like button, write your opinions in the comment section below. And for this episode, Abdullahi is not with us right now because he's currently working somewhere. I don't know if he make it back onto the podcast, but if he does, we'll put him on. And with Khalil, you already know the news. If I haven't said it before, we're just gonna accept it. Well, he's just going to be a sporadic co-host where he will just come out and appear from time to time. Unlike the previous episode where he had his own takeover of the whole episode, talk about Messi possibly leaving and him doing other topics, which I believe it was a good episode. For him to do it alone without me or Abdullahi, fair play to him. I gave him the credit for doing it. Even after he finished going live, I went and congratulated him and told him he did pretty well. But anyways, we also have to say this is going to be the final episode of the podcast on my channel. Like I said before, the podcast is going to get moved onto its official channel, which you can find the link to it in the description below. Go and subscribe to it. And one thing I'll do before we continue doing the podcast on the channel, I'm going to re-upload all the episodes, including this one, onto that channel. So if you are listening, if you are listening to this podcast on that channel, so it's already happened. But as we're going live right now, you're listening it on my main channel. But if you are someone that's not used to listening to very long podcasts, there's the IRP Clip channel, the Into Reality Clip YouTube channel. That is also linked in the description to that. It's in the description. I fumbled on that. But you know what I mean. In the description, you can just listen to the clips of the topics that we discussed on the podcast. Now, for this episode, this is the last one, and we want to go out with a bang. Basically, we're it's going to be actually a very interesting episode where we're going to actually talk about a certain topic. Now, this was Abdullah's idea from the beginning, and we're going to continue rolling with it. So, before we get into this, I would like to introduce our guest into the podcast today. He goes by the name of Keelin. Welcome
What's
on.
up, everyone? What's up, man? How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. How's your week been so far?
It's been good enough, man. I'm getting a tattoo tomorrow. Dedicated to my late great nanny, and no, I've just been working, and just at home relaxing, and yeah, just excited to talk on this with you, man.
Yeah, so it's just been a usual week.
Yeah, pretty casual, I guess with this whole COVID-19 thing, everyone's just kind of taking it day by day, so we're all just kind of relaxing, chilling out, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I get it. In the words of Drake, working on the working on the weekend, but we'll just change it to weekdays like usual.
Yeah, yeah, but definitely, definitely, man. Like, I'm just thankful I have the weekend off, even though right now weekends and weekdays feel pretty much the same. But the weekend's the weekend at the end of the day. So, it's good to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you on. Nice to have you on.
Yeah,
So
my pleasure, man.
so right as of right now, where do you live? Don't say like the specifics. Just say like the town or the city.
Oh, so right now I live in Port Leash, Ireland.
Ah, okay. So the same town as Abdullahi.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. I reside here in Dublin, Dublin City.
can't go wrong with Dublin. It's the big mighty of them all in Ireland.
Yeah, it may be small in size, but mighty in everything else.
Yeah, pretty much the capital, the pretty much the king of the country.
Yeah. Now, before we get into the main topic of today's episode of the podcast, I just wanted
Yeah,
to go through some side 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 topics. The minor ones
yeah,
maybe doesn't really care that much. Um, if I okay, first of all, if it was going around on Instagram, but if you haven't seen it, a Deliveroo worker, a Brazilian Deliveroo worker by the name of Tiago was hit by a driver in O'Connell Street in the city center of Dublin,
yeah,
and he was seriously injured, and the driver didn't even stop to check if he was okay. So he basically did a hit and run, and Thiago was taken to the hospital, and from there he sadly passed away. And videos videos were going out showing all the other Deliveroo workers in the city center with hundreds of people out there to pay their respect to him. Now, before I say anything else, have you
yeah.
have you heard have you heard this, or is it just new to
Um,
you?
for some reason, like I'm not widely aware of it, but I feel like I might have seen it. If that like I don't fully recall it, but I feel like I might have heard it. Like I feel like I might have heard about it, just not in like as much detail as you went into. But yeah, that's terrible, man.
Yeah, so it's just fresh.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh. I feel like I thought I kind of like heard about it, but yeah, no, I definitely didn't know the ins and outs of it like that. Like that's that's mad.
Yeah, because I'm still in the same bracket of not fully understanding what was happening because I saw it on Instagram. I was just going through people's stories, not really looking at it, just tapping, swiping, just getting to the end of it, and then I
Yeah,
saw I saw like a graphic drawing of the person. So I just stopped, went back, I looked into it, and that's when I saw the whole story broken down into.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's it's just terrible. It's just terrible for him, and I absolutely
yeah.
feel sorry for his family.
It's just like, especially the guy who didn't care, just drove on, and like the fact that some people are like that, especially like with the way the world is right now, you don't need any more negativity by like someone doing that. Like that's just it's just crazy how it hits so close to home because everyone associates like really crazy things with like say like American and stuff like that by nature. But like it happens in like so many other places like that it's not it's kinda like frowned upon. It's just crazy, man.
Insanity is the one word I can just describe this whole thing. Like
Yeah,
I believe that he was probably in the middle. He was in middle of work trying to deliver someone's
yeah,
order to the doorstep, and I think and the fact that he's Brazilian, I know like there are quite a number of Brazilians in Dublin. I can say for the least, and when they come in, it's not really easy trying to settle down or just
Yeah.
settle down or just get up to up to space with everyone else because
Yeah.
the because some some of them may not have it. Some of them may not have it easy as everyone else. Some others are just trying to find some work to do and
Yeah.
trying to make ends meet. And like Tiago, I believe it's no different. During sunny
Yeah.
days, rainy days, warm days, cold days, basically they're just trying to do their job and deliver the food you ordered from the couch of your home, or you're probably laying out on your
Definitely.
bed, and all you have to do is just get up, get to the front door, and get it handed to you.
Yeah.
But I think what is all sad, I don't want to take anything away from it. I think the worst thing about it was the fact the driver did a hit and run.
Yeah. Like, no matter what hurry you're in or what situation you're in, the fact that like there's no excuse for it basically. Like there's just no excuse for it at all. Like, and it's just sad. Is like the best way to put it. Like there's there's no other way to put it. Like it's just messed up.
And the thing to add, I've seen it on again. I saw the whole thing on Instagram, and
Yeah.
there was a there was a let there's a letter. I don't think it was written by him, but I believe it was written by his his family.
Yeah.
If I could if I could still find it, I'll read it out. Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
here's the letter written. It says, and I quote, "I'm a delivery driver writing to apologize. But first of all, I'm going to introduce myself. There's no need to identify myself now since I'm here to represent many other immigrants. I'm the one who delivers your food. But what you do not know, I will tell you now. I wake up early. I pray before leaving my place. I say goodbye for those who live with me. Then I go to work. On a rainy or on a sunny day, your food is always delivered. I have to face traffic. Many drivers have no patience with me, but I get to your house. Sometimes I might be late, but your food is always delivered to you. There are many obstacles on my way. I sometimes struggle to find you, but your food is always delivered to you. When it's too cold, I don't feel my fingers. It hurts, but anyway, your food is always delivered to you. Gardaí sometimes stop me and give me a fine, but your food is always delivered to you by me. Today I apologize. I couldn't get to your house. I got hit by a car for no reason. I didn't have time to think or to stop. The situation took my life from me and my family, and your food tonight I couldn't deliver to you. I'm sorry. Dedicated to Tiago Osorio Cortez, Brazilian husband, friend, Deliveroo, and to his family and friends, and many others who are not seen or recognized out there. Rest in peace.
Yeah, man. That like just kind of like it hits hard. Like because like I don't know the way that whole like letter or paragraph, the way it was wrote, like just would resonate with a lot of people. Like, and it's just the person that like did it. Like I'm just wondering how like I'm kind of just lost for words to be honest. It's just the world is like this is my thing. Like I feel like by nature I'm kind of a person that looks at the bad in a lot of situations, but it's like things that happen like this that like kind of like sways your mind that way because there's just it's like there's so much more negative in the world than positive. That right there is an example, I think.
And people think it's only places like United States of America where they're having problems, or somewhere in Asia, South
Yeah,
America, places. countries in Africa. The thing is, it's everywhere. Like
Yeah,
something something wrong happened, but this right here is nothing. It's nothing new. It's one of those things that happens. Now, getting getting hit by a car was definitely unfortunate. But if the
yeah.
driver had this, but if the driver had decided to like just stop by the side, come out and see if the person was all right, even if even the situation was not gonna change, at least he came to he came to check and apologize for the wrong he did. But should it even be a surprise at this point? Like he couldn't
It
give a
would have
thought.
shown a sense of like actual having a heart and like like you could say then, well, look, like no matter what, it's a bad situation, but at least he showed some like some sort of like like he cares that you want to see if he's okay, but that just didn't happen, and like before you think it's surprising, but the way everything is now it isn't really surprising because there's just so much people like just so like self-absorbed in like themselves and just in their own little bubble that they just don't care about what they do to like affect other people. And even like I'll admit, even probably when I was younger, I would have thought like a lot of stuff like this would happen in America. But like the more older I got, I realized that that really isn't the case. That it like it can happen so close to you, and like you shouldn't try and deny that because it's just factual at this point. Like that right there is just an example of it.
It's very it's just very unfortunate to see these two these two problems all at once.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to find the things to say, but just like you, I'm just probably in a cloud, just not knowing what I'm
yeah,
gonna find. So all
yeah.
I
Like
can say
man,
is go ahead.
oh, sorry, sorry, Vidro. What I was just
Yes,
gonna say was like, yeah, like I probably seem like I'm stuttering or, kind of murmuring my words, but I was just trying to find the right way to phrase it, like, 'cause it's just such a situation that like you just you hear about and you're like this shouldn't be a thing. Like this, it's just very. The world is just. I don't know. Maybe it just seems like the world to me is just dwindling away, like day by day. If that makes sense.
I get what you mean. We're living in a cruel world. Nothing nothing in life is fair. We've already come to accept that. But the
Yeah,
things that are just happening is just making things totally worse.
yeah. Like there's a saying like everything happens for a reason, but what would be the reason for something like that to happen only than just cause like pain and suffering? That's why I don't really know if I stand by that saying because like a lot of things that happen just really shouldn't happen, but they do, and it's just sad.
If you look at it in two ways, first of all, with Tiago, he was just out there trying to he was just out there hustling, trying to get whatever he could just to provide for the people he cared with. Now,
Yeah,
I would believe the reason he came over to Ireland is because probably back in Brazil things weren't easier over there, and you obviously
yeah,
come to a new place. You need to familiarize yourself with the environment, the people, the way they do things. So already there is difficult from the get go. And secondly, for the driver that that ran him over, like you have no excuse to what you done. You have no excuse for
yeah,
injuring someone and just going away. You can't come back and
yeah,
just said, "Oh, you weren't you won't focus on what was on the road or
Clearly,
you're running late to
yeah,
work or clearly
but
you were just out.
that could go both ways. Like if he says the argument like you aren't paying attention to the road, you clearly weren't paying attention to the road if you hit someone, like it goes both ways. And to go back to your fact, like that he was just hustling, it's sad how people nowadays, it seems like the people who hustle and scratch and claw for everything that they have get worse luck than say someone who's never worked a day in their life and just like spoons off of say like living on the dole money or whatever, stuff like that. I'm not saying that because you're on the dole is bad, but I'm saying the people who don't even look for work that just are comfortable doing nothing. That's what I think.
It's just it's just tough to see things like this happen. And all I can say is
Yeah,
us
yeah, man.
our hearts
But
and prayers go out to the family of Tiago Dario Cortez. May his soul rest in peace.
yeah, rest in peace. Because it's like stuff
Now,
like this is probably happening right now and we don't even know it, and that's the sad thing.
yeah, just that now with social media and the internet here, people can just capture it and just show it off to thousands upon millions or millions upon billions.
Yeah, just exploiting stuff that doesn't need to be put out there because at the end of the day, like it's not some like funny YouTube video. It's not like uploading a clip from a movie. It's like real, like it's authentic, like it's something that is gonna affect people in a massive way and change their life. And for someone to just exploit that for like a quick like 60 seconds of like like people paying attention to them, it's sad how people just exploit things like that just to you know get attention. And that's another thing. The world is full of attention seekers.
Yeah, that is true. Not not only that, did something like this happen, but also recently, the actor behind T'Challa, the king of Wakanda, Black Panther
Yeah,
himself, Chadwick Boseman, also lost his life due to cancer.
yeah, he's the warrior, well
Now,
and truly.
for this one, this for me it hurt badly because for someone like Chadwick, he he basically as an actor he came portrayed portrayed a role that for us for us people can look up to and tell ourselves, yo, if this person is showing that we could do anything, we can be anywhere, then we can do it. We can do it too.
Exactly.
And already in America with the problems with black people and the way we're treated back in America, he's kind
Yeah,
of like a positive thing we can just
influence.
look at and just believe to ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's not all terrible.
No, but the fact that he resonates with so many people for like like being proud of who you are, and like in so many other ways than just his role, like him as a person, like to just any person who's going through something bad, he was able to push through all this and still make movies. So, like, if you have something bad going on, you can still push through and make something of yourself. Like he's inspiring not only to the black people and that community, but just to like every person. Like he's an inspiration to every person.
Of course, he's an inspiration to everyone, even including young kids. And the thing is, the movie Black, I think the movie Black Panther itself is just showing everyone that. Oh my god! Oh great! I just I just don't know what to say. He
I know,
he
man. Like,
died from cancer at the age of 43. And if you ask anyone, people will say, "Oh, that's it's he was too too young to die." But still, the thing is, no one's too young or too old to die. That's already something we've we accepted with. But the fact
yeah,
that I heard that he's been battling with cancer for 4 years, so that was since 2016. So if you could imagine every movie that he's acted in since 2016 up to his passing, he was battling with cancer. The
yeah. He's
respect
had this
there's
constant thing hanging over his head.
Yeah, the respect I had for him is just now more than ever, because some people when they have cancer, they'll just take a back seat and try and recover it. And I don't I wouldn't blame anyone, because I'll probably do the same if it ever happened to me, God forbid. But
Yeah,
he actually went and did all these movies, acting all these roles while battling with it. Just show that he was like a very he was a strong person mentally. He was a strong person doing all this.
yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, that's just my two cents on it.
Definitely. And like, it's just the fact that, like, he didn't, like, in his final days, his final years, he made like the most of everything. And like his on screen, it's so fitting how his on screen character is a superhero, because like, I know this is gonna sound maybe like corny or whatever, but like, he literally is like a real life superhero for like going through all that and putting a smile on like loads of people's faces. And like, he just deserved all the respect in the world. Like, I would genuinely mean that.
He does definitely. And one thing I heard in his hometown of Anderson, South Carolina, they're actually planning to build a statue for him in his hometown, in the place that he was born. So I'm just thinking, I I don't want to say fully deserved, because not everyone can have a statue of themselves somewhere
Yeah,
in the world. But the fact that they're making a statue for him, it would have been more nicer if he was alive to see it. But it just
I
shows that
know.
the impact that he has made on everyone.
Yeah, and it, yeah, and like a more kind of different note, it kind of just shows that a lot of people are never truly appreciated until they're gone. Like, lots of people feel like they take certain idols and stuff for granted, but like, this is an example of this should always be appreciated, like, to the fullest, not just when they're gone.
Because
Is Yeah,
I don't know if you heard this, but Jonah Joyner Lucas made a song called Will, so it's basically his tribute to Will Smith. And I
yeah,
remember I think in the ending of his second verse, I I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember that part he said. He said that.
yeah,
So I'm just looking at it right now. So where is it? Okay, it's here. He said, I cannot fold. I hit all my goals I did with pride. So it's not the first line, but it's still part of it. He said, ain't nothing worse than losing your hero and couldn't say goodbye. So we never know when it's our time, and legends are gone and we don't know why. So before they go, look here, go a look go a toast. So give them a rose while they still alive.
definitely.
So
That
basically, you're
like,
saying anyone that's an inspiration to you, anyone you look up to show them that you are genuinely appreciated with how much you looked up to them and how much they've helped you in anything. If you are trying to become something and you become that something, thank to that person. Just thank.
yeah,
Just go ahead and thank them for it.
yeah, not just one of those people who hop on a bandwagon, so to speak, like show just like show that you always were like a part of their following of their fan base, and you like believed in what they stood for, not just because it's the popular thing to do, but because in your heart of hearts is the thing that like resonates with you the most, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, even in the remix in Will Smith's verse, he said, "And life's a trip, but who could relate? The legends are gone, but it ain't too late to give 'em a rose and carry the grace, 'cause not every hero is wearing a cape."
Yeah, and
So it's
that's such a
basically
famous line.
it's the same message that he's trying to put out. Now, I already believe people have done that before he's passed, but for some reason, it's always more before. It's always more after they pass.
Yeah, it's because people, I feel like a lot of like celebrities, what they stand for and like who they are as a person isn't as recognized until like it's too late, kind of. Like loads of people kind of only truly recognize someone's talents and how much of a great person they were when they're gone, because they don't pay attention to it when they were alive. It's a really sad thing, but it's one of those things that like is a common thing with celebrities, sadly.
Yeah, I rem I remember it was one of those things with XXX Tentacion. It was before
Yeah,
he passed. I remember. I don't know if he said it somewhere live or it was a tweet saying that he wouldn't want to be given he wouldn't want to be given all the all the appreciation and whatnot when he's after he's gone. He would rather get it all before he goes as well.
yeah, definitely.
So it's just a common thing. But
Yeah, a lot of people want that.
even though there are people who are showing their respect and condolences, on the other hand, there are a bunch of fools on the internet who would take advantage of this and try and make the most sense, the most they, or the most amount of cash they could get from it. Because if you don't know, I'll give you this thing for one thing. For example, there's there's a YouTuber going by the name of I'm J Station, and what he does once
Yeah,
someone once someone famous passes away, he will go ahead and make a video trying to saying that you're gonna try and contact contact them to see if they're still alive or whatnot. And that is the most frustrating thing that people. It's the most frustrating thing I've ever seen because a person just passed away, and not even
and
like
yeah,
2 days later, you go out and make a video like this.
the fact that some creators, the first thing that pops into their head when someone famous dies is, how can I clickbait this? How can I come up with an idea that gets a lot of people to click on it? Not rest in peace or a tribute video. It's a video just poking fun at someone's legacy and just using their name as a way to bring more people to watch your channel. And that's the completely just wrong way to go about anything in life. Like exploiting someone else's troubles for just for your own pleasure. That's just such a common thing nowadays that it's so overlooked, but yeah, it's so unknown by everyone. It's one of those things that, along with loads of other things in the world right now, even things we discussed earlier on this, it just needs to be stopped. But it's one of those things where it probably won't because people are just so neglectful and they just don't care. Like people just don't care.
Now, in this situation, when something like this happens, is this is definitely YouTube's fault because somehow they allow things like this to happen. There's this
Yeah,
YouTube, there's this YouTube channel going by the name of Looper, and you don't believe this, but they made one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine videos after Chadwick just passed away about all these different things, and most of them is things people already know. And
yeah,
this is just definitely just to get the views up. How
exactly.
come
Even, sorry, you go.
I'm like, how can something like this happen when someone like Leafy who just puts his opinion out on YouTube gets his channel terminated for something like this can stay on the internet?
It just shows YouTube's favoritism and just like lack of knowing the good from the bad. Like there's, to be honest, in this world, not just YouTube, the good seems to always get the bad end of things, is where the bad always seems to get better. Look, that's just with everything, I think. And we as well, even if someone makes like 9 or 10 videos about a person, even if they're not directly poking fun at it, the fact that they went out of the way to do it multiple times just shows that it's not about, paying tribute. It's more about just trying to get views. And it just people lack creative ideas that they just hop on a bandwagon of loads of this is very hot right now. No matter if it's a topic about something really tragic happening, they don't care. As long as it's hot around the world, they're gonna milk it. And it's sad. Like that's a common thing I'm saying. Like a lot of the things people do is just sad. Like
Because I'm looking at the title of these videos, and some of them are just pretty useless. First of all, the first one is celebrities reacting to his reacting to the heartbreaking news. Any We can all go to other people's social media accounts and see what they had to say. We don't need a video like that. Another one being this will be his final movie. It doesn't really matter if, like, okay, fair enough. It could be his final movie, but do we really need to know if it was going to be the last movie or not?
yeah,
Third
it's
one
just
is Third one is what no one knew about Chadwick Boseman's death. Everyone knows what the cause of death was, and somehow the person was able to make 4 minutes out of that one thing. Next one was this was his final message before he passed, as if his family members wouldn't have said it themselves. Another
yeah,
one being what we probably didn't know about him. What you probably didn't know about Chadwick Boseman. This video, this video could have been fine if it was done a long time ago when he was probably
exactly.
alive. Another
It's
one
just
being,
like yeah, sorry.
no, I'll let you finish it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like it's just like say if some celebrity like uh we'll say we'll just give a famous celebrity, right? No one mentions anything about him. The second he dies, that's when it's all these titles about it. It just shows that it's sad how it takes something like that to happen for people to make all these videos rather than just making videos when they're alive and still happy and well. It just shows that people just take advantage of shitty situations. Sorry for my language, but take advantage of bad situations just so they can capitalize on it in a sick way. And even some of these titles, a lot of people watching could say, well, what's the big deal about it? It's not like any of the titles is an insult to them. But even though it's not an insult to them directly, it still kind of doesn't help when someone just died and you're making all these videos about like all this. It looks bad from like an audience point of view because it just looks like you're exploiting it. I said
And
a lot
then
there, but yeah,
yeah, understandable. Another video saying the MCU reaction to his passing again, not needed because we would have gone and looked for checked for ourselves. Another one being a certain actor's reaction or that celebrity's tribute, again not necessary. Could have seen it, could have went and checked it ourselves. And the seven then the next one was the 7 movies that he's been in while he had cancer. Again, not necessary, not needed. We didn't need to see
like
any of
imagine
that.
if you're looking from the point of view of his family seeing all these titles. Like right now, it's a time of mourn, not a time of seeing all these videos and headlines trying to again just make a quick buck off of like like a great legacy left behind. And like look, admittedly he wasn't always the center of a topic when it came to like loads, like he didn't have loads and loads of people talking about him like in the same vein as maybe other actors, but everyone was always aware about how good he was, and he deserved to be talked about more. And like right now people are talking about him, and he's a warrior and he deserves all the respect. I just wish that he he always had respect, but what I mean is like I kind of wish people talked about him more as a person when he was still here. But at the same time, like no one ever had a bad word to say about him, and people I think are more aware of how good of a person he is now more than ever.
Yeah, it's just that I was looking at some other YouTubers. All they did, if they wanted to pay tribute, all they did was make one video, just one video with no ads on it, just saying their thoughts on the whole situation and whatnot. One video,
Yeah.
and that's it. That is completely fine, and that's what what people should have done. One video, no ads. That's it.
Did all them videos you named have ads?
I won't. I would be. I'll be surprised if they didn't.
Wait, sorry, man, 1 second. Oh, I'll do it. Oh, hold on for a few minutes. I'm doing something. Oh, hold on. I'm doing something. Sorry about that, man. Had to deal with
Nice.
something there. Did you hear any of
Well,
that?
yeah, I heard something. Maybe I should have muted the mic. You could have muted the mic, but it is what it is. We
Oh
move
yeah.
on.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I just
It's kind of that was yeah.
I just clicked on one of the videos and it just showed. It just said skip ad in the next 5 seconds. I was like, okay, that's it. I didn't even need to check the
That
rest of
right
them.
there is already a red alert.
Red flag in itself. Making money of someone's death. How much? No, I can't even say the word. But just how low do you really have to go? Seriously, how low?
Sir, man, you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I can still hear you, of course.
Yeah. Oh,
All that I just want to say is,
sorry, man. I'm sorry about this. I just there's something going on in my house. I just have to do. I had to do some things, but what I was gonna say was the fact that there's an ad. It's already a red alert that like they're basically just making money off this situation. Like if anyone truly had credibility about them in times like that, they wouldn't care about earning any money off the video. They just make it because they're inspired by the story and want to honor them, you know?
but the thing, I don't. There's one thing I don't under, understand. One of the videos, somehow, I don't know what the problem is. Either a YouTube channel like Looper is doing this, or the fact that there's a good like to dislike ratio on the videos, as if people don't understand, or people don't get it. But you know what? You know what?
Sorry, man. Sorry. Oh my God!
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to apologize. The background noises that happen around Keelin's location. One thing I just want to point out is it's just disturbing the fact that people just do this for money, and other people don't some other people like just don't understand that they are doing these sort of things. Well, all I can say is rest in peace to the man.
Man, I just gotta say that I'm really really sorry about. I have to go and do something. I'm really sorry
uh,
about this, man.
it's okay. It's okay.
No, I can hop on again, man.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's just something really urgent came up.
Uh,
I'm really really sorry about this.
it's okay. It's okay. You can just mute it, and when you're done, you can unmute it again.
All right, man. Uh, I think I might have to leave the live, man.
Oh.
But did we have much more that we actually no? All right, 1 minute. You just all right, yeah. So no, I'm gonna stay a bit longer. Sorry, what were you saying?
Well, I was going to say we didn't touch on the main topic of the episode,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we have
That's
killed
fine,
about
man.
47 minutes right now.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I'll talk to you about that then now.
All right then.
Yeah,
So just to end this certain topic, I'm just going to say rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. You were loved and inspired by many, and hope all of us see you on the see you on the other side of life, which is
yeah.
heaven, of course.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
And
Genuinely,
screw
like very
and screw
inspiring.
ev- yeah, and screw everyone who tried to make advantage of a person's death just to make money.
Yeah, because it's literally too common of a thing that happens, and it shouldn't happen. Like it's just ridiculous. Like
And it's literally just a piss take, basically.
yeah, definitely, man.
But now, moving on to the actual point of the episode, even though we waited almost 50 minutes.
Yeah,
But when I was talking to Abdullahi, and he said that he wanted to have you on as a guest, and he said the topic he would like to talk about with you. is a topic he calls it growing up in a council estate.
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't live. Okay, I'm not gonna say I know anything about living in a council estate because we live in a a fortunate estate. It's an okay estate. I think I thank God for the state I am right now, and wish everyone else was better than than where they are right now. But just to be sure, you used to live in a council estate, or do you currently live in a council estate?
So right now,
Yeah.
I am living in a I'm living in a council estate actually. I am pretty sure it is. Yeah, we just pay the rent and every month. Um, yeah. So I lived in another estate for like 10 years, and then I moved up to the estate I'm currently in at the moment. And I can say that although I've had fond memories in like both places, there's also been like like hiccups and stuff like that as well. But I can say that the estate I'm in right now is much better than the one I was in, growing up. Like definitely.
Okay. So what is what is it like? What is it like living in a council estate? Is it completely different to how everyone thinks a council estate is like?
Well, see, the thing is, the estate I'm in right now, I don't know if I can consider it a council estate because there's loads and loads of like it's not just like a little small estate. It's a fairly big estate that everyone's known of, and people here who I know financially don't struggle are here. But as for the old estate I lived in, um, it was one of those places where it kind of is what it's made out to be. It's kind of like this little reserved estate where there was a lot of people living there that weren't so nice and kind of were bottom of the barrel type people. And like growing up as like say a child that would like I would have been overweight and kind of fat and all that, so I would have been like bullied and like made fun of and stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, like I did have some good times living in a council estate, but there was just some other times that weren't so bad, well, that weren't so good. But yeah, no, like the estate I'm living in now, there is kids that aren't aren't very pleasant, but I'm older now and everything is fine. Like I don't really pay attention to what's going on in the estate now because I just go do my work and come back and that's it. But in relation to like what people think a council estate is, the old estate I lived in, well, in relation to what people kind of see a council estate as like kind of below the ranks. So, say the old estate I lived in would be an example of somewhere that would live up to his name of, not being ideal or particularly a nice place. Like, with like people getting evicted and travelers, stuff like that.
So one thing I just want to say is I know there's an area in Port Leash. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I know that you can get you can get to that area of Port Leash if you're coming from the motorway. And I know that area there maybe I'm pretty sure that that place there is completely different to the area that that you used to live in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I remember quick story. There was a time me and someone we went to a person's house in Finglas. I won't
Yeah.
mention the name of the person or who lived in the house, but basically the house they lived in, it was given to them by the council, and basically
Yeah.
like the house was just in there with many other houses. So it's like you see like five houses in one, and only two of them had a gate to the back garden.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking. Also, and the houses were like we're not big. They're like if you look at it from the front, it was it's completely small compared to like other houses, of course. So
Yeah.
do you think people will have like a bad image saying that oh if you live in a council estate you're not living in a good estate or not living in a good neighborhood or whatnot, and you just people would just wish if they ever lived there they would seriously get out of there as soon as possible.
People think that if you come from a council estate that you're kind of like you don't have much of a bright future if it to put it simple, like they think that bad upbringings or being poor or which are things that like people get that impression from certain people that live in those types of states, but that's not the that's not the entirety of the estate. There's people that are genuinely just there, making a living and just trying to just do well for themselves. But people get this picture that anyone that comes from there is, like not gonna probably like drop out of school early or not really amount to much. Which, from one end, I don't blame people for having a perception of like certain people in certain states not making it well. But the fact that some states, everything, every person that lives in that state is labeled as say say like a knacker or something like that. Like just because you might know a lot of bad people that live in that state doesn't mean everyone deserves to be labeled as such and such. Like yeah, there is a lot of people that are bad and whatnot, but at the end of the day, like just like in life, there's good and there's bad. You know, that's pretty much it when it comes to like how people perceive like the council estates like that. But I don't think I've ever had a bad reputation. I've always kind of made my intentions clear that I just try and be the best I can. I might say the wrong thing sometimes, but like I just I just try my best, I guess.
That is understandable because same thing. I don't want to completely put it on myself, but when we went to that house in the area of England, like I remember the woman said that the house was given to her family by the council back in 2011. So this is
Yeah,
9 years ago, and they're not they're not poor by any means. They they actually have a decent a decent income and a good well being of themselves. And if they wanted to move out of the place, they would have done it a long time ago. But they've insisted that they've never had any problems with where they're living, and they're actually really happy there. So so what they're actually doing, they're just decorating the house, making it look better than it was when they first came in. So I think it's just a case of people not fully understanding what happened. People not fully understanding how people live in a council estate until they came or put themselves in their shoes, or maybe like probably just like maybe if there was any way, maybe someone who lives in a really good estate should probably just take a week or maybe a month to live in a council estate and see for themselves if they really believe what they what their assumptions are clearly true.
Yeah. Like it's one of those things where a lot of people live in council estates because they're just comfortable there. Like it might not be a big mansion or anything, but like people, some people it's for them, other people it's not for them. Like I don't think a council estate is really any different from just living anywhere else. I just think it has maybe a bad reputation of a lot of bad people coming from there. But you know, I don't think where someone lives should kind of define who they are because at the end of the day, whether it's four walls or a big mansion, that doesn't define who the person really is. It might give you a fair idea of their background or whatever, but someone could be the richest person ever and be a complete, like, awful person, as where someone could be, like, one of the poorest people ever and be one of the nicest people, you know?
Yeah,
Like, it's one of those, like, touchy subjects. And I don't know if I have done very well with the podcast tonight because there was one moment where I had to go talk to my man. There might have, I might have like, shouted downstairs saying 1 minute, but it's it's something new that I just wanted to try out and like everything, trying out new house, like trying like just I just don't think people. I think they should be open to hear about like the ins and outs of what something really is, not what it seems to be. Like you could think something, but then when you delve more into it, like you could find out that like it's not so bad. And that's not me saying that like council estates are like a holiday out in Spain, but realistically, unless you're in Spain, like just being at any house, at any place, ain't really going to compare to it. Like that's I hope I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. I could sound like I'm just rambling and pulling stuff out of my ass, but I'm just trying to say it like in the best way I can.
I totally get where you're coming from. I understand it because again, people may not say it properly, but like if you understand the main message that someone's trying to bring out, then that's all that's needed. Because
Yeah,
I always think to myself, I don't make okay from here or there. You I might make a joke saying that, oh, the council estate must see one of those people there. Like I might put like a side joke here or there, depending. No matter where a person lives, person could be living in Beverly Hills. And I said,
yeah,
"Oh, you live in Beverly Hills? Pretty posh you are, aren't you? Since you today you're a boy." That's it.
yeah,
But I will never make fun of anyone, no matter the sort of background they're living in, because I always know, no matter the best area you're living in, there's always people down there living in worse conditions than you
yeah,
are, and you don't know how life is. Anything can happen in life. First of all, you could be living in the slumps in the city center. Next thing you know, it you might, not that it's a definite turnout, but you may never know. You might be living in a mansion, or if you're someone that lives in a mansion, poof, you be homeless, you be poor. anything can
Yeah.
happen basically.
Yeah, exactly, man. I agree 100%. Like,
And the thing is, people should know it doesn't matter where is your home. It's what's in the house that makes it a home. So
exactly.
you would rather live in a house as long as it had running water, good heating, and electricity. If the house had the three of those things, you would take it rather than being homeless. Because look at
Yeah.
how many people there out there homeless. They wish they could live in a house of their own. So all I'm just
Like,
saying is,
people
okay, say your piece.
shouldn't just, you know, like, care so much about where someone lives because at the end of the day, that's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. But, like, count council estates. I'm not trying to make an argument that, oh yeah, like, you should, anyone who lives in a mansion or such and such a place, you should pack up your bags and go to the council estate. I'm not
Oh
saying
yeah,
that. I'm just saying
I know
that.
that. I know that's
No,
not the case.
yeah, but it's just no matter where you live, that's irrelevant. What's irrelevant is what's going on in the world and just like you as a person. That's what's relevant. That's what people should focus on.
Yeah, the main message of everything is no matter no matter any part of life that you're living in, just just be grateful and appreciative that you have somewhere to live, no matter where it is. So whether it be lower class, middle class, or the high class, or whatever they call themselves these days,
Yeah,
just be happy with
rich
it.
people. Yeah,
That's why it's more fun
like
to
man.
just to make jokes out of rich people.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they're not going to get offended. They're still laughing. But man, at the end of the day, money's money. Like, yeah, you can have all the money in the world, but what really matters is happiness. Now, if you're happy where you are, whether it's out on the beach somewhere or just in your house or home, like it's all man. Everything's all about being happy. Try to be the happiest you can. Make the most out of a bad situation. Which a lot of what I'm saying, I feel like I need to take my own advice. But even though like I mightn't take my own advice, I know that advice is what should be should be taken by people and should be brought on board and you know
O-
just try to follow it and just honestly man everything is just about your happiness, not where you live. That's what I think.
Okay, I think that they're just looking for me out there, so I think I just need to end this quickly, or I get myself
Oh,
toasted.
hurry.
But I just want to
Okay,
say
man.
thank you so much, Keelan, for being on the podcast today.
No problem, man. I hope I didn't make an idiot of myself.
No, you haven't done anything wrong. Thank you to
Okay.
everyone that's listened to this episode of the podcast today. If you did enjoy, hit the like button. Any of point of view you want to put out, put it in the comment section below. Remember, this is the final episode. We're finishing right here. Next episode will be on the official channel, Clips channel. Everything else will be in the description below. You can follow my social medias right here, which are on the screen. You can follow Abdullahi's socials as well right over here. And you can follow Khalil's socials over here as well. Is there any socials you'd like to shout out?
Um. So okay, you you can follow me on Instagram at Green. You can follow me on Snapchat. Key Green 123. Do you want me to spell it or
No, that's fine.
K?
I'm pretty sure
All
people
right,
will catch
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, yeah.
So,
All
but
right, yeah.
anyways,
Thanks, man.
now, get us Okay, so thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the main channel. Peace.